Hello, people. I'm Rachel from Sons. I do all sorts of random chance encounters with things. I open up books to pages. I use the tarot. I use the Sabian symbols. I use the I Ching. I use it all. I need it all. And in this time of difficult beginnings and uncertainty, we are literally leaning into the void right now, and we need all the help we can get. So let's get started. I've already given Reiki to these cards. Oh my gosh, and I see that underneath we have the sun. We are in Leo season. I'm a Leo sun. I have a stellium of planets in Leo, but I can temper that with my Virgo rising. Woo-hoo. But we are, look at this beautiful card that's underneath it all. This baby that's just getting its personality. It's looking into the cosmos, into the mirror of the cosmos, and loving what he sees, loving what she sees. When you can look in the mirror and say, you know what, just like Louise Hay said, I love you. I really, really love you. Easier said than done. But this goes with, well, we have a full moon in Aquarius at 11 degrees. And let me read this, because this card underneath just really goes with this. Full moon in Aquarius at 11 degrees. During a silent hour, a man, a woman, receives a new inspiration which may change his life, which may change her life. During a silent hour, a man, a woman receives a new inspiration which may change his or her life. It's that Uranian energy. You know, Uranus is squaring this moon. And everything in our lives are changing. The things we touch, our money, our food, our values. Our values are changing. You know, in the I Ching, we got difficult beginnings. Right now, we have to rely on inner inspiration, our inner guides, and we have to trust that something larger than ourselves, outside of ourselves, is guiding that inspiration inside of us, that we're connected. We're connected to God, we're connected to Source. We are this child, this inner child looking into the cosmos and trusting and smiling into that trust. We're asked in difficult beginnings to let go of paranoia, to let down our defenses. We're quick to criticize right now, and people are quick to criticize us right now because our opinions are bursting. Our opinions want to come out. That Mars energy that is with us for 6 months in its own sign of Aries, that those beginnings, our opinions are so strong right now. And the true test of your character is if someone can give you some critique, how do you take it? Do you puff up? Do you blow up? Do you immediately regard it as false? If it is false, can you ignore it? Can you not take the bait? If it's true, though, can you hear it and assimilate it and listen? That's a good test right now, and we're all being asked to take that test. Let's see what else the cards have for us, okay? Like I said, I already gave these cards Reiki. I already put all the symbols in. I asked for guidance, and here we go. Ooh, yes. 7 of Swords. Indecision. When do we feel this confliction of, do we grab that sword or this opportunity, or what's the right answer? You know, here he is sitting in the corner with his dunce cap Is he saying, no, I'm good, I don't need to make these decisions right now? We feel indecisive, we feel conflicted when we're not acting in accordance with our moral principles, with those high goals that we've either set for ourselves or we're getting intuitive guidance about. That's when we feel conflicted. That's when we don't have this confidence, this self-confidence, when we're not acting in accordance with those nudges we're getting from the universe and with those goals that we set for ourselves. It's really important right now to have that goal, and it's not really far-reaching. It's not really far-reaching goals right now that we're working on. We're working on setting a foundation, consolidating a foundation, and that foundation has to be principled and it has to be moral in ourselves and in our organizations, in our institutions. So individually and collectively, we're working on that. We're working on our principles. We're working on our foundation. We're building our house upon that rock. Just like, why not? I include every wisdom that I can get. If it's Christian, okay. If it's some other religion, Taoist, Buddhist, I love it all. I really pull from all of it. I love investigation. It must be my 10th house in Gemini. I just love following my curiosity. And I really struggle with, is following a curiosity, following a hunch and a whim, is that not staying in line with a goal? But I just have to give myself permission, my inner child permission, to pull from where I need and trust that it's actually part of the higher goal, part of the higher purpose. But 7 of Swords, this is a spiritual lesson of when we are in alignment with Source, with divine guidance, we don't have this indecision, we don't have this conflict. Yes, crossed with the King of Wands. This is a grown-up version. He is a grown-up version of this energy, the sun energy, this solar plexus energy, this jewel, I've got to go get my citrine. Hold on. Sorry about that. I love my citrine. I'm so addicted to yellow, as you can see. This beautiful citrine globe I have here. This is sitting right inside the belly. Manipura, the city of jewels. It's your own personal kingdom. It's your radiance, it's your will, it's your discipline. I have another citrine crystal that I brought back from my good friend Katie in West Virginia. Beautiful. Whoa, it's an arrow. This solar plexus is a sun. This arrow is shining in all directions. So when we are in alignment with our goals, this is beautiful. This forms this cross. He is the antidote. That's beautiful. King of Wands is such a Leo energy. What's under? Oh my Lord, what's underneath is the Queen of Wands. Bringing in that feminine solar power. Yes, it's available to us right now. The feminine solar power is just as strong as the masculine solar power. Who would have thought, right? We are so coming into a feminine time. Whether that means destroying the patriarchy altogether, and going to a matriarchy, I don't think so. I actually think we're learning how to coexist. We're learning how to assemble. We're going back to balance, harmonizing the masculine and feminine within ourselves and balancing the masculine and feminine inside of our culture, inside of our institutions, inside of our organizations. I'm so inspired by, I don't know, I got so inspired by Alexandria when she, I couldn't think of her last name, so forgive me, the congresswoman who the man on the steps called her a fucking bitch. And she gave this testimony really for all women. And it was so inspiring. If you haven't listened to that, I highly recommend it. It's so grounded. It's so grounded, and it's such a lesson for all the young women in our lives, the young women inside of ourselves who've been told to be good girls, to stay in their place, to not use their voices. Wow. So psychologically, we're bringing in this feminine solar power. And both of these together are, I am what I am, and I am a changer. I'm not so stuck in my beliefs and opinions that I can't listen. This maturity of being a king and a queen is actually listening, assimilating wisdom from other people. We're learning how to assemble again. We're learning how to trust others again. Wow. Let's see what is crowning us. Ooh, 10. This is a kingly number, 10, a queenly number, 10. This is good news, actually. We're on the upturn. You know, I turned to a page in this book after my inquiry into the I Ching today, and it's this one, I wish I had it with me, it's this wonderful minister who wrote these books. I think his name is Harold E. Cohn, K-O-H-N, and I opened the book, I asked for guidance about this collective energy and for the full moon tomorrow, and it was about the passage in Psalm 23 through the valley, you know, and how God doesn't want to stay with us forever aimless in the valley of death, not a good place to be in, but that He will help you. God will help you walk through that valley. And I just think it's so lovely, so much in that story about weathering the storm. You know, what's on the other side of the valley, and there's always an other side to things. You know, we are going to come through this time that's so difficult. And there is hope for richer living, more valued living, a higher quality of life for everyone involved. And the Wheel of Fortune says that yes, we might feel that we are at the bottom of the wheel right now. We might feel that, but the wheel is turning, the wheel is spinning, and who knows what the timeline is, right? The universe is in charge of the timeline. This brings me to another Sabian symbol. Always when we see that, okay, the full moon is in Aquarius at 11 degrees, we always read the next symbol, which is 12 degrees. On a vast staircase stand people of different types, graduated upward. The hierarchy of living. And here we see that each person should be aware of the level at which he or she stands, even as he strives to move higher. We look up for inspiration, and we look down to reach toward the people that are lower than us to help pull them up. It's so beautiful and such an Aquarian principle. Every human being is potentially divine as an individual, but the natural progression of states of consciousness is an unavoidable reality to accept at the social mental level. Each of us has to become aware of how conscious we are and realize that some others below us might not be as conscious, and that we might not be as conscious as those above us. This isn't about, or is it? No, it includes everything. It's those that are less fortunate than us with finances. It's those that are less fortunate than us with race. It's saying that Black Lives Matter. It's knowing where we are. This is such a beautiful concept, but one that we are in such need of learning about. The Wheel of Fortune. Wow, yes. Moving away from the moon in reverse. Wow. Moving away from just living through the subconscious, just living out the shadow. We're becoming aware of the shadow. We're becoming aware of what we've been hiding. You know, if you were to take this literally, this would be the woman in the shadows. This would be that feminine energy, the Queen of Wands, hidden. That feminine solar power of standing in truth, of standing with her own wisdom, of an ability for a mother to give out tough love. All of that hidden. If I were to take this literally, that would be it. You know, I believe that all the injustices of our world go back to Adam and Eve and misogyny and saying that it's all the woman's fault. So, wow, we're moving away from that. We're saying, no, it's not all Eve's fault. It's not this or that. It's not Adam or Eve. It's both. It's both together. Wow. I think Mercury is forming an opposition to this moon, and it's in Cancer. So this is very Cancerian card, the moon energy. Turning everything upside down on its head. Wow, beautiful. Resting on the moon. You know, it's knowing how we feel too. It's trusting how we feel. Going back to this energy is that when we feel that we are in alignment, when we're connected to our divine purpose, we feel confident. You know, when I'm in the midst of drawing or coloring or singing with my family, which I just got to do for the first time since Christmas, we sat down, we made a fire, we sang songs. When I was in that, I felt so alive, so confident, so vital. When I'm dancing, when I'm creating my art, I feel good. I feel connected. And I'm going to trust that for now. I'm just going to trust that for now. I hope you have that something that makes you feel aligned, you know, and I know we're needing for that far-reaching goal of being self-sufficient, because we're not trusting our organizations right now. We're not trusting our institutions. We're not trusting other people. So just saying that I need to make money, I need this, I need that, might not be the best answer right now, but trusting how we feel in every moment. Trusting when we feel aligned that it's the right step, that it's the right thing. We're building that foundation, and why not build it on joy? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I'm gonna move my crystal here to the other side. Oh my, the Seven of Wands energy. What a Mars energy. You know, I think Mars, let me go back to my notes, because Mars is, I think, squaring. When does that happen? Oh, I took so many notes. Oh, the day after the full moon, Mars squares Jupiter at 19 degrees. Take responsibility for what you're doing in your life. Take responsibility for yourself. And again, this is guarding against too much defense, too much aggression. You know, I had an experience the other day on Facebook where a friend of mine from high school, he keeps posting very racist things, very aggressive things. He said he wanted to go to Chicago with how many thousands of rounds of ammo, and I was just like, oh my Lord, I don't know. I want to burst out. I want to say something, but I didn't. But I felt like the need to say something. So I said, your racism and ignorance and aggression is not okay with me. And he wrote back immediately and said, I'm sorry if I've offended you. I always thought you were nice and pretty in high school. So sweet. I guess unfriend me, he said. And I said, you know what? I'd rather not unfriend you. I just think, you know, his birthday was that day too. Was it yesterday? His birthday was that day, and he's a Leo. And I just said, I think you being a Leo, your heart is bigger than this. Your heart is bigger than these things that you're posting. And someone could look at me from higher up and say, I think you're bigger than all this, and I have to listen, you know. He said, he wrote back and said, thank you for enlightening me this morning. And as I look out, I see, out of my window, I just saw a yellow monarch. This reminds me to work on my emperor drawing, since I'm drawing a deck of tarot cards, because the last time I did a video, there was a yellow monarch, and wow. The King of Wands, there's a yellow monarch butterfly inside of our stomachs. The yellow monarch. Changing, only has a short time to live and enjoys every moment. Wow. How can we be regal and give someone a truth without being rash, without saying, then I think you're a horrible person? Because I don't think this man is a horrible person. But I did feel the need to say something about my values. And that I didn't want to look at that anymore. And I guess, you know, I can choose just to not go to, I didn't go to his page though. It just showed up in my feed like so much in social media. And this is reminding me that maybe I need to take a break from social media. A breath. A breath. Seven of Wands. This is again, we go back to 7, a spiritual lesson. Is it us against them? Is it me against you? Or can we find a way to bring all of these clubs together for a singular purpose? To get our eyes connected, the single eye. I think I just read that in the Bible yesterday about Matthew Matthew 6:22. It was part of the Sermon on the Mount. I'm always doing all of this research in the mornings. I do a journaling with the I Ching, which takes me to one of the Cone books, which takes me to the Bible or some other thing. I'm really loving it right now, this practice that I'm doing. Okay, I always ask the I Ching, what is God's message for me today? And then I went on to ask about the energy for this full moon tomorrow. Assembling was the first one, coming together. How to do that, to realize that we need a center, that if you are a leader, then your leadership has to be principled, and to become self-aware of your place in a group, to notice how your personality has to change and compromise inside of a group. So important. And then we had difficult beginnings, which, going back, the Seven of the Swords is that difficult beginning. Oh man. So here we are, we come in as the King of Swords. Truth. Clarity. Clarity. Consciousness. A little bit of reservation, caution, as you're speaking your truth. Be careful of a cruel tone, because opinions are running high right now. We've already discovered that opinions are running very high. I love this little, what is it? What is that little person there, that little spirit? Is that, that small voice of inner guidance? Is it a little fairy spirit? Reminding you that awareness and consciousness is your friend. Not being too rigid. Not being too rigid. But having moral principle. Sticking up for others. Reaching down for others. Also, we're being called with this Uranian energy to be original, to not trust so much the external right now. Because this Aquarian energy, this Uranian energy we need new ideas. We need new and original and authentic people to come up with new ideas. But we need that moral fabric, those moral principles. Everything is changing, like I said, money, food, wow, yes. The Ten of Swords, because this atmosphere is over. Those things, those ways of thinking are dead. Those old ways of thinking that to get over on people is the way. To lie and divert and blame and shame others is the way to get ahead. And it's not happening. You can see it. The old ways of thinking are bleeding out. But what's great about this is that we're at a rebirth, but the beginning is difficult. like the I Ching said, the beginning is difficult. But to know who we are, to know where we are, to be conscious. I love that, you know, the swords are in the tree. I mean, it hurts, but the tree is wisdom. The tree is long-standing. The tree takes 15 minutes to take a breath, one breath. The tree is a symbol of longevity. So, and it's in front of the full moon too, which is so great. A chapter is closing. Who can weather the storm? The tree, you can't even see it, but it's bendable. In the I Ching, they use bamboo a lot. You know, bamboo bending with the snow or bending with the storms, but it doesn't break. What needs to finally break and go, but what can remain? It's our mind, you know, it asks us to ground, to breathe, to meditate. And remember, anything can be a meditation. Even, you know, inside of a task can be meditative. Not just sitting still and trying to assume a posture that someone else has told you, even though that can be helpful at times, but it's not always available to us, right? So even, is washing the dishes too banal? Not really, because the feeling of the suds, over your fingers, that can be meditative, right? Just staying inside of that moment, again, being at every moment and noticing how you feel, that's a meditation. We have another queen. Queen of Swords now. That tough love, that standing up for yourself, that saying, no, that isn't what it is. Also a good leader applies the tough love, sets boundaries, gives restrictions for the good of all. And we're being asked to accept whatever that means to you right now. How you deal with limitation, how you weather that storm, how you deal with a boundary. Let's see. There is even a boundary in this happy little card, this boundary of flowers. I mean, that's beautiful. But, you know, fun. Even the idea of fun, you know, for a lot of people right now, or before all of this whole calamity started happening, this disorder, this chaos, this new beginning, fun was going to a bar. You know, last year on my birthday, August 16th, I had what most people would consider fun. We went to this bar, the California Clipper. It's been around forever. Supposedly Al Capone hung out there. It's so fun. There was a live rockabilly band, and my sister, my twin sister, and I, and my best friend, we danced our asses off. We drank. We stayed out until 3 in the morning. It was fun. But I've always said, you know, I can have fun at the grocery store. Fuck fun right now. Find a new way to have fun inside the limitation of what we're dealing with. We can do that. We can do that. I can find fun in my apartment. I can have fun outside underneath a tree by myself or the couple other people that I've quarantined with. You know, teaching our kids how to have fun, real fun, that they create for themselves with their imaginations. You know, that's part of this tough love right now. Some people are really quaking with fear at the feminine energy that's rising up. We have to let down our defenses. We have to guard against paranoia, thinking that women are going to rule the world or that minorities are going to rule the world. You know, we're all human beings trying to assemble together. We're trying to get along together. We're trying to become more inclusive. Equal. We have to know, though, our place again. We can each become students. We can each become teachers in this time. We all need learning. Three of Pentacles. I love it. If there was ever a card of collaboration, this is it. This is very mercurial. The three coming together, and actually difficult beginnings in the I Ching is number 3. It's not easy to collaborate. It's not easy to learn new things, but it's so necessary and it's so worth it, and it can be fun. It really can be fun. You know, some people say that Aquarius at 11 degrees, that inspiration is like an in-breath. It's like a gasp. It's like a, I never knew. I never knew that a person that's so different from me, having a conversation with that person can be so enlightening, can be so enriching, can give me exactly what I need for that moment. I can come together with a person completely not of my background. I can form an assembly with that person that feels so powerful, that feels so loving. That's what this energy is all about. It's all about building that foundation, that rock for the new things that are coming. Beautiful. And like I said, what was underneath it all was this inner child, this sunny 19, the sun, this Leo energy. 19 in numerology. Wait, it's a 10, it's a 20, it's a 20. Sorry, my math. Woo! 20, it's a 2, comes down to a 2. It's how me and you, us, form an us. It's relationship. If you have a real strong anger in you, if you have a real strong Mars energy in you, if you're having that heat, might be need to retreat, come together later. Wow. There was a story in this Cone book that I read this morning about an explorer on the sea, and he wanted to get to India. It was like in the 1400s. Wanted to get to India, and there was this promontory point that there were all these storms and horrible waves and tumultuous storms. And he called it the Cape of Storms. He couldn't get around it. And then later there was this other explorer who had the same idea. He needs to get to India because that's where all these amazing goods are. And he actually got past that promontory point, that Cape of Storms. And he renamed it the Cape of Hope. That he got around that point and he realized that there was peace there. He got to that good place. How we weather the storm, how we go through that valley. We can ask for guidance. We can ask for help right now. We can get on our knees and we can ask for help. We can go to that friend that we know tells us the truth. We can ask for friendly advice. We can listen to the guides that are inside of ourselves. But just be easy on yourself, because this is a very, very difficult time, difficult beginning, and we are going to come out of it. You are going to come out of it with, like I said at the beginning, a richer quality of life, and with a good feeling in your heart, knowing that that quality of life has improved for everyone, for the collective. So anyway, I wish you all the best. I think I will go in and go off of this spread and pull a card for each of the signs. So here's to you and having a beautiful full moon tomorrow. Bye-bye.